so-called flying saucers.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the SA. It's rotating.
Hey, welcome to Kill the Stigma. So today I'm going to talk about Jesse Michaels. This dude just keeps blowing my mind with his documentaries. They're very well done. Got a lot. He's very smart, very intelligent. I'm just so impressed, and he's been very active. He's been so active, and it's interesting because he's kind of was low key for a long time, for a while. But I don't know if there's something inspiring him to do more videos, because he's doing a lot of good stuff. Anyway, anybody should check that channel out. Actually, I had not a discussion, but I had a friend who I met yesterday, and he's like, dude, you listen to UFO stuff? I'm like, yeah, man. You know, because he said, oh, man, I'm not getting into that, whatever. And, but then I sent Jesse Michaels, Luis Hassan. He said, oh, man, he's more on the Greer side, and it's very interesting because he's had this information. And I've been working on a video that I've been doing a lot of work on, and I think I'm just going to delete the whole thing because it's on I was kind of upset at AJ from the Y-Files for calling David Grush and Luis Elizondo disinformation agents, because they're not, in my opinion, they're not disinformation agents. They're honest about being honest that I can't tell you the whole truth. They're saying it, but the thing is, you got to understand, they're, causing legislation. David Grush was under perjury, and the pushback that they've gotten. I mean, I put a lot of work into that, and I even put AJ in there because, my channel's not monetized, so I'm like, screw it. And I just think it's not even worth it anymore, honestly. Like, I just think I'm just going to forget about it. This information, you can't compare that to Rick Doty with the Air Force Special Investigations, and Paul Benowitz. No, we're talking about people briefing Congress, the Senate, the Gang of Eight, and the President of the United States. I mean, let's not forget February 2023, but here's what I want to talk about. Forget about all that. Conclusion on that thought is this information is not really the word we're looking for. It's partial disclosure. Partial disclosure means that they believe some things should be kept secret, and they tell you that. They tell you that they can't give you the whole truth. Some of them want to give you more truth. Some of them don't want to give you that much truth. Some of them have different opinions. I'll give you an example real quick. I'll just take three people. James Lakatsky. He wants to bring it out through books. Okay? Jay Stratton wants to bring it out through Skinwalker Ranch. Great show. You see it? You want evidence? Go watch that show. Problem is, it's a lot of time. You got to start season 1. I get it. But the evidence is there. Luis Elizondo and Christopher Mellon want to hold the government accountable. And I think a lot of people have disagree. They disagree on that because they don't know what consequences it has. It's so unpredictable. And a lot of people get spooked. People in Congress get spooked. Honestly, it takes bravery to do that. And, there's a lot of powerful people like Senator Chuck Schumer, Rounds. Unfortunately, Luna, Timberchet, these people in the House, they're not as powerful as the others, and the others are more quiet. It's very interesting to see the change on some of them, I remember Mark Warner was super interested, and now he kind of laughs it off at Matt Laszlo. And so, you know, I don't know what the truth is, but I sometimes wonder if whatever the truth is, if it's one of those things where we thought we wanted it, but then it's disturbing. I don't know. I really don't know. We really don't know. But I just want to make it clear there's a difference between disinformation and people that want partial disclosure. There's a war inside the government of people that want some level of truth, and some, maybe some in the Air Force, some in the CIA, not 1 inch over my dead hands. Okay, that's what's going on. I can 100% say that's what's going on. So now I want to talk about national security because it's annoying. I hate it when they say national security because you know you're not going to get any information. Well, we got a pretty good breadcrumb from Luis Elizondo in this Jesse Michaels interview. And I want to be honest about what I think.
Interview me, but let me interview you just for a moment, if I may, if you'll indulge me. A common theme here is we keep talking about the term national security, and I know you're here to interview me, but let me interview you just for a moment, if I may, if you'll indulge me. How do we? This is a sandbox here, right? Let's say there's a technology now. There's a toy that there's 12 kids in the sandbox, but there's only one toy, right? This toy has the ability to let everybody play together and be nice. The problem is human nature is such that most kids, most governments in this case, using it as an analogy, are going to want that toy for themselves. How do we share the toy? How do we use this? Because we know there's countries out there that if they had a certain type of technology, they would probably employ it very quickly to their advantage. And I'm not saying we have never done it, because we have. I mean, we dropped the bomb. We did. We're the only country that's ever dropped a nuke, an atom bomb. And that was us, so we'd like to say, oh, we're afraid of it. Well, don't look now, but we were the ones who did it. For good or bad or indifferent, right? That's a fact, established fact. So countries will use technology if they feel that they have to in a time of conflict. With this type of technology, if we were to come together and say, look, we really can do better as humanity. We don't have to fight each other, right? Now, this is on the backdrop right now of Hamas and Israel, Ukraine and Russia, right? We have issues in Africa. We have issues right now with China and the South China Sea and Taiwan and the U.S. And the world is on fire. Doesn't matter what side of the argument you're on. I think we can all agree that the world is a very dangerous and violent place right now, right? This technology has the chance to either bring us together or completely rip us apart once and for all. Right, like there's no coming back. How do you solve that problem?
It's a very hard problem to solve, but
it's only the hardest problem to ever.
You have to raise people's consciousness in step with slow dissemination of the thing or something. But
how do you stop that temptation? Because all it takes is one selfish kid to ruin it for the rest. Remember, one kid. It's my toy.
Probably just show them the good ways in which this technology could be used before you even just tell them that it exists.
Who does that? Who's going to take the moral high road and say, I give to you this technology and you shall use it for peaceful means? Who has that moral authority? Who's trusted enough in the world to do that and to say, you will use it for this but not for that? Who?
I think it's probably going to be just a collective move and something that is like an emergent property of a lot of good people with good minds and good hearts coming together to...
Who is that? The United Nations?
I think it's...
Is it society writ large?
Well, this may be the NHI, maybe the entities themselves. I mean, we were with James Fox the other week in Austin, great guy, and I was talking to him, and he was like, I'm making all these documentaries, and the thing that has come up after decades of doing research on the UFO subject, whenever I'm about to find smoking gun proof of UFOs, I have, a video here, a picture here, an amazing eyewitness, the thing disappears. There's some like ephemeral, bizarre thing about that. And then if we're talking about the nuclear connection as well, it's almost like there is a counter intel on the part of the NHI themselves, where it's like mass surveillance, and it is there right when it needs to be there, and things will disappear. And it's our most precious assets. It's our nuclear assets. They'll get by our most intense encryption from the NSA. And so my answer to that would be like, it's like the 3-body problem. They know we're going to blow ourselves up, so they clamp down on the science, and they're responsible for a lot of the productive science.
Would humanity be okay with an overlord, an NHI babysitter? Is that freedom? Are you really free then if an NHI were to come down and say, okay, folks, this is a reality, ha ha ha, we've been kind of playing with you a little bit, but here's reality. You're all going to play well with each other. You're all going to be able to enjoy this free energy and whatnot, but you're going to play by our rules. Now what happens? Now what happens to free will? At that point, humanity is faced with the reality, potentially, that we're not the alpha species, right? And now that we have to do what something or someone else tells us to do. Is that free manifestation? Is that the ability for us to live our lives the way we want to live our lives, or the way we are told to live our lives?
But isn't that already happening in some version of reality, with people believing that, end of the world is upon us, and Armageddon?
Yeah, look, governments do it all the time. Look, we've been told what to do all the time by governments and religion and institutions, organizations, social clubs. Absolutely. PTAs. I mean, I can't tell you how many societies are out there that, tell you how to live your life. Well, I mean, look, and they're not all bad, but we're in a place right now that has specific rules on, how one should live their life.
But wouldn't these entities, this is what I thought you were going to say, aren't they already in control? And it's just about our awareness of whether they're in control or not. I got breakfast with Tom DeLonge, who I know you worked with at the Stars Academy, and he was saying that he thought that a lot of these NHI are not great, and that they are like archons from the kind of Gnostic tradition, and they kind of rule over the material world, sort of thing.
I I'm always very careful not to share my opinion, because my opinion doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what matters is your opinions. It's, again, back to the question I had about this little sandbox, right? You've got this double-edged sword. You want to be able to give it to everybody, but not everybody's going to play. Not all children are very nice to each other. And we still, I mean, like I said, look at today's right now, around the world's on fire. We still don't play well with each other. Are we ready? And and it's not a yes or no. I mean, I don't know. You answer the way out. Are we ready, truly ready, for the truth to come out? Will we do the right thing, or will we do what we have always done in the past? Always. There's not one exception where we didn't. Use it against one another.
I'd like to believe that that we will make a better choice. I think.
Can we take a chance? Are you willing to take a chance on it?
The specifics matter in this hypothetical.
Yeah,
they do. They do. No, but you understand where I'm going with this, right? So we're talking now. We're beyond really the everybody says, "Well, I want to know the truth." Okay, but how much of the truth do you want to know, and how much should we know, and then what do we do with it, and can we be trusted with it, right? So there's a cascading series of questions that come after that, philosophically speaking. And, it goes back down to the point where in the original conversation that Hal Puthoff discussed with you about publicly, I can't believe he did that, about the White House in 2004.
Yeah.
Are we ready to tell the American people the truth about UFOs?
Yep. So, I was listening to Tom DeLonge earlier. American Pie 1999. That was such a somber conversation. Not that I meant to add humor to it, but that wasn't even funny. I felt like I needed to lighten the mood, and I'm a big Blink-182 fan. Big. But a lot of people I said I was going to be honest, and due to the times we're in, I saw a poll in Twitter, are we ready for disclosure? Like the real deal, right? I guess I was in the very low percentage. That was like 18% that said no. And why I said no is because of the timing. I loved the answers that this Jesse's friends gave. We got to raise our consciousness, do this and do that. That's all great. But do we have time for that? Why did Lou name his book Imminent? Think about it. And I don't know, it's kind of spooky because honestly, I think I'm more terrified of humans than NHI with this alien technology. And one thing I do, I try to put myself in the shoes of a national security person. I'm not. I just try. I try to put myself in the shoes of the President of the United States and forget about my wants and needs. And I try to think about the responsibility of the people. You're literally responsible for everybody, okay? Not just the UFO community, which is not that big. You're responsible for everybody, okay? That's a big responsibility. And man, I feel like I'm gonna lose fans, but I don't know if we're ready. The only thing, and shout out to Pavel from Psicoactivo, he blew my mind. Because he said this, Pavel, I swear I was gonna say the same thing. The only thing that can save us is a trauma. Listen, human beings don't change because one day they wake up and they decide to change. No, it's suffering, it's pain, it's trauma that makes us change. Why don't you just look up, it's late, I gotta go to sleep. I would edit it and put something in here, but I go look at the end of World War II, or the Great War and the celebrations and how happy people were. And that would have been a good time to bring alien technology. And the thing is, Lou says we did it. We dropped the atomic bomb in 1945. So you imagine if you're Putin, it's like, man, you did that. You did, or whatever, why can't I do it? Just as an example. And remember David Grush talking about the secret Cold War. That is a little bit terrifying. Now, one more thing I want to address. I think Jesse Michaels also has very good points. A little strange, but keep in mind, Jesse Michaels is a very smart man. And I'm just going to say how it is. I don't care. Counterintelligence by NHI. He talked about James Fox and how every time he's getting close to a very good case, important case, things disappear. I mean, they're offering people hundreds of thousands of dollars for videos, and they won't take them. Why? And you know what this brings me to? Slide 9 of 8 tip. I'm gonna see if I can remember, but it's basically science exists for an enemy of the United States to penetrate U.S. sensitive facilities, influence decision makers, and compromise national security using psychotronic weapons, reminds me a little bit of Havana syndrome, actually. Now that I think about it, but who knows if that's connected. And cognitive, it's a lot of weird stuff. And I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it. What about those people that we never know who they are, that just come and take stuff? You know? The weird ones. You know why the word counterintelligence really surprised me that Jesse Michaels used that? Because it's so smart. Think about it. You take these people in black suits that look super weird and they're just suddenly gone. Literally, it's a crazy story. Nobody's going to believe you. They're going to think you're nuts. And then you're like, I can't tell this to anybody. Like, first of all, they usually scare the hell out of people. And then they make this story so weird that no one's going to believe you. That's genius. That is so genius for as a counterintelligence tactic. If I want to keep the brightest minds away, just use this high strangeness, and just that's so smart. That is so smart, man. And then, people don't talk about it. And John Keel did write a lot about that. But you gotta wonder if Slide 9 is also connected to that. Influence decision makers. And then Jim Semivan also said to James Landoli that there's something interfering not to disclose. And I really gotta go to sleep. It's late, guys, but we had a big drop on with Michael Schellenberger. I forget the code word. It was a big deal, and there's been sightings all over the place after that. And you gotta wonder, and if there's somehow a connection, to that. And I think Pavel said it best. We need a trauma. That's it. We need a trauma. But the problem is, we're not in World War II. A long time has happened, and we have this technology that can either bring us together or wipe us out. And you know what Albert Einstein said? I don't know how the Third World War is going to be fought, but the Fourth World War will be fought with sticks and stones. And I also agree with Pavel. And this is Pavel, I swear, like, you blew my mind. I actually put on Twitter, psicoactivo. I was so impressed. It was one of the best episodes I had seen. I think we need our leaders to take psychedelics. Like, I think that should be a law. And figure it out, That's what the leaders of a lot of natives would do. And I just... But I know that's not possible. Or maybe I don't... We're in rough times, and I do feel the whole imminent thing now. And you know what, guys? I gotta go. Everything's gonna be all right, but this something to think about. And for everybody that wants free energy and all that, because there's a lot of them out there. Man, I don't know. I can kind of sympathize with. I really try to put I try to put myself in both shoes, And it's a complicated situation. But anyway, good night, guys.